ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यदविद्याविलासेन भूतभौतिकसृष्ट्या तं नौमि परमात्मानं सच्चिदानन्दविग्रहम्. Okay. So I know at least one person has done the homework I had asked last time, to go back and refer what the various connections are, Indriya Sannikarsha, this connection, that connection. Okay. So at least one person has done it, I know, because she came and told me that now I understand everything that you said that time. Okay. So those who have not done it, please go ahead and do it. Okay. Okay. Then after having done, any questions up to now? We completed page 31 in this book last time. Okay. Okay, if there are no questions, now this class is fairly simple. Okay. Good, at least one online class is simple. The problem is less than, He says, people don't mute themselves. I have to mute them. How to do? Anyway, he says, Sa antakaranam, sa cha antakaranam, sa cha vrittihi, chaturvida, he says. These vrittis that you talk about are fourfold in nature. Broad categorization, broad classifications, not to be taken as literal, but in a broad sense. Okay. What is that? He says, samshayaha. Those vrittis that are not constant, shaky, doubt, etc. Okay. Yeah, there's no definiteness. Do I like this character? Yeah, but at the same time, that way. So emotions, doubt, etc. will come under one. Nischaya, definiteness. What is the book? Sure, 100%. Nischayam, knowledge. Nischaya. Garvaha. मैं हूँ ना. Garvaha. Okay. Garvaha. Okay. And smaranam. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah. I was there at Uday's. It was the starting of the ceremonies. So I was there for that. And there I met this lady. I had not seen her for 30 years. But you recognize, you remember. Smaranam. 30 years. She was a kid, just married. Okay. Yeah. I'm meeting her after 30 years. Yeah, you remember. Yeah. Therefore, evam vida vritti bhedena. By this vritti bheda, by the difference of the vrittis, evam api antakaranam. All this is put together, all the vrittis are put together to say antakaranam. Your inner instruments. Hands, legs, etc. are bahya karanam, external instruments. Mano, buddhi, ahankara, etc. antakaranam, inner instruments. For whom? For you. Okay, antakaranam. Antakaranam. Manaha iti, when it comes to doubt, emotions, etc. Mind, manaha. When it comes to knowledge, definiteness, resolve, etc., buddhi iti. There is no separate word from mind and buddhi. Therefore, in English, they invented a word called intellect. Okay. Your reasoning, etc. Okay. Ahankaram, garvaha, meuna, my conceptual self. Ahankara is also an instrument for you. Why? To function in the world. Or kya? How can the all-pervading awareness function in the world? By using the instrument of ahankara. Instrument, ahankara. Chittamiti. Chittam stands for memory there. Cha akhyate. So it gets 4 names. Whatever is doubtful, etc., not steady, emotions, mind. Resolve, etc., becomes buddhi, intellect. Sense of I, your conceptual self, is ahankara. Memory is chittam. Fourfold. Simple classification. Okay. Tyuktam. Therefore, mano buddhir hankaram chittam karmanantaram karanam antaram samshaya nischaya garvaha smarnam vishaya ime. Okay. So these are the things. Some I don't know. I don't remember which text he is quoting. Okay. Yeah. I'll have to find that out. As of now, I don't know which text he is quoting for this. Okay. Some text, previous writers says this is the fourfold division. Now comes to a very interesting point. Okay. On this, I am sure there is no doubt, right? Very clear. Mano buddhi chittam ahankaram is very simple. Yeah. Just a classification. But it is important to note that all these are only your thought patterns. And he is talking about as a thought pattern, not as a brain pattern. Okay. Well, brain is hardware. We are talking about the software now. Yeah. Okay. Then he says, Tacha pratyaksham. We are talking about pratyaksham. Remember, the whole chapter is about perception. Pratyaksham. Dividam is twofold. In what way twofold? Savikalpa, nirvikalpa bheda. Savikalpa, nirvikalpa bheda. Now remember, you generally heard the word savikalpa and nirvikalpa with respect to meditation. Thoughtless stage is nirvikalpa. We are not talking about that. Okay? We are not talking about that. We are talking about perceptual knowledge as being savikalpa and nirvikalpa. He is redefining the terms for this particular purpose. How is that? How is savikalpa and nirvikalpa with respect to perception? Tatra savikalpam vishishtaya avagahi jnanam. Savikalpam is about a particular thing, he says. Yatha gatam aham jnanami ityadi jnanam. Remember, he is talking from the standpoint of the knowledge, not the object. From the knowledge point of view, not the object point of view. Therefore, he is saying, I know the pot. I have knowledge of the pot. Savikalpa jnanam. There is savikalpa. This is called savikalpa jnanam. Knowledge of any object like this, when you gain perception and you know that you have that, it is savikalpa jnanam. अच्छा, अभी तक ठीक है. Nirvikalpam tu samsarga anavagahi jnanam. Okay. In nirvikalpa jnana, he says, this type of a relationship, pot hai, main hu, that type of a thing is not there. Samsarga anavagahi jnana. For which he gives an example. Yatha soyam devadattaha tattvamasi ityadi vakijnanya jnanam. When you say soyam devadattaha, like for example, old example of mine, true example. This was years ago when I was a student in Rishikesh. Okay. As a student in Rishikesh, typical sadhu I looked like. I hardly used to wear a shirt, a kurta or a shirt, just an upavastram. And I used to roam all around Rishikesh with that. Okay. And one of my friends, Dr. Geeta, who now is looking after the Nagpur ashram, she had come to meet Swamiji in Rishikesh. So she wanted to see Shivananda ashram. That's why we went there in the evening. So I said, hey, for Swamiji you have to pick up something from the Ayurvedic store. Wait here, I'll just go in and come. So I went into the shop, came out. I find Dr. Geeta speaking to another friend of mine, Dr. Patwardhan. So I walked up and said, hello. And Patwardhan says, Namaste Swamiji. It's obvious that he has not recognized me. Because he has seen me as a naval officer in Bombay. Have you ever Rishikesh? So I look at the other friend and smile. Champion is not recognized. So she tells him, you remember my friend Ram Mohan? Yeah, he was a naval officer, etc. Kidhar gaya? I have not seen him for some time. Soyam Ram Mohan. The Swami that is standing in front of you is that guy whom you knew as Ram Mohan in Bombay. Okay. Now look at it. What is the relationship between Ram Mohan, the naval officer, and this sadhu that is standing in front? Is there a relationship? There is no relationship, there is only oneness. No? The same guy. Vesh badala hu, nahi. Vesha and karma is different, that's all. Not all the difference. That time the job was to chop off the country's enemies. This time the job is to chop off your ignorance. Aur kya farak hai? So he says, this is not a related knowledge. In fact, you have to drop conditionings to gain that. No? From the naval officer, you have to see the person who is independent of the naval officer. From the Swami, you have to see the person who is independent. The person is one and the same. You have to drop all roles, etc. The sadhu role has to be dropped, the naval officer role has to be dropped, and the person has to be recognized. This knowledge, he says, is nirvikalpam jnanam. So now you know, when they say Vedanta gives you nirvikalpa jnanam, what we are talking about. Not nirvikalpa experience. Aankh band karke no. Jnanam aham nirvikalpaha. That knowledge is called nirvikalpam jnanam. I am free from all relationship, free from all differences. That knowledge is called nirvikalpam jnanam. That's why he says, after Soyam Devadatta, he says, Tattvamasi ityadi vakya jnanyak jnanam. These type of knowledges that is gained by the Vakya, Tattvamasi also he puts into it. Nirvikalpam jnanam. In fact, that's absolutely nirvikalpam. Okay. Yeah. Now, idna bola to actually Purva Paksha comes up. What is the Purva Paksha? Natural, it should have come up in your mind also. Nanu shabdamidam jnanam na pratyaksham indriyajanyatvat iti chet na. No, you can't put this as pratyaksham jnanam. This is vakyam, shabdam jnanam. Knowledge born of the shabda, the vakya. It is not indriyajanyam, therefore not perception. Correct, hai na? ये doubt आया कि नहीं है? It should have come to all of us. Yeah. This is a natural doubt. How can this be called as pratyaksha jnanam? Soyam Devadatta or Tattvamasi cannot be pratyaksham. It is shabdam jnanam. He says, nahi indriyajanyatvam pratyakshe tantram dushitatvat. We have already negated that indriyajanyatvam is not the criteria for pratyakshatvam. What is the criteria for pratyakshatvam? Huh? What is the criteria for perception? Vritti avichinna chaitanyam and Pramatra Vichinna Chaitanya. Yeah, being at the same place. Therefore, he says, Kintu Yogya Vartamana Vishayatve Sati. It should be Yogyam, available for perception. Vartamanam in the present. Sati. Pramana Chaitanyasya Vishaya Chaitanyasya Abhinnatvam iti yuktam. The Pramana Chaitanyam, the Vishaya Chaitanyam, being at the same time and place through the operation of the vritti, etc. That is called Pratyaksham, Pratyaksha Jnanam. We have seen that in the whole definition of what is Pratyaksham, etc. We have seen that. Yeah. Therefore, this is what is Pratyaksham. Tatha cha, he says, Soyam Devadattaha iti Vakyajnasya Jnanasya Sannikrashta Vishayataya Bahir Nispranta Antakarna Vritti Abhivamaya Devadattaha Avchanna Chaitanyasya Vritti Avchanna Chaitanya Abhinnatayaha Soyam Devadattaha iti Vakyajnya Jnanasya Pratyakshatvam. Can you all see or hear me? Hello guys, I am back. Okay, is that clear, right? Okay. Therefore, he says, now look at it, he is saying. He says, in the case of Soyam Devadattaha, Vakya Janyas Jnanasya, Sannikarshta Vishataya. Since Devadatta is right in front of me, the sadhu standing in front, no, of Patwardhan, there it is in front of Sannikarshtataya. Okay. Bahi Nisranta Antakarna Vritti Abhyugamena. We accept the fact that the vritti can go and connect up. Either vritti goes outside and connects up, or the light it comes in, and but the vritti is formed. Why? Because even though it is Shabdam Jnanam, it is right in front of you. Yeah. Soyam Devadattaha iti Vakyajanyasya Pratyakshatvam. Therefore, even though it is Vakyajanyam, it becomes Pratyaksham. Are you getting the idea? Now look at it. Shabdam Jnanam, knowledge that you gain out of Shabda, can be Pratyaksham or Paroksham. Okay? It can be Pratyaksham or Paroksham. This is a pen. I am saying now, what I am holding in my hands, but Swamiji, we can see that. Can you make out whether it's a gel pen fountain pen or ball pen? This is a ball pen. Pratyaksha jnanam. But born of Shabdam. It is immediately known to you, isn't it? Is it indirectly known to you or directly known to you? Directly known to you. Directly known. Supposing I am saying, Arey, next year we will go to Gomukh. Gomukh is so beautiful. This is a huge glacier. And in the glacier there is a cave, and from the cave the Ganga emerges. All this is direct knowledge or indirect knowledge? Indirect. Why? Not pratyaksham. Why? It is away from you. It's away from you. There are a couple of people here who has come with me to Gomukh or have been to Gomukh independently. For them it is memory, okay? For them it is memory. Like Satish Bhai has come with me, for him it is memory. Kavita has gone there, for her it is memory. When I am describing it stimulates memory. For others it is indirect knowledge. Therefore, if the object is in front of you, Shabda Jnanam also becomes Pratyaksham. Clear up to now or not clear?
Yeah.
Because Pratyaksham is not about Indriya Sannikarsha. Yeah, we have defined Pratyaksha differently. That's why we spend so much of time on defining what is Pratyaksha. Okay. Evam, in the same manner, Tattvamasi ityadi vakya janyasya jnanam api. In Tattvamasi, Pramatruhu eva vishayata tad abhyubedasya sattva. Tad ubhaya abhedasya sattva. Okay? In Tattvamasi jnanam, what happens? The Pramata is trying to know what? What is the Pramata trying to know? Brahman. Brahman is presented as Pramatra. The Atma of the Pramatra is Brahman. Therefore, the Pramatru Chaitanyam is trying to know itself. Therefore, what? Both are one and the same. If both are one and the same, it is direct, immediate knowledge. Direct, immediate knowledge in this case is called Pratyaksham. Even though it is created by Shabdam, Atma is not an object of your perception. Even though the object is not an object of your perception, the words create direct, immediate knowledge. Why? Why and how?
Because it is you.
It is you. I know I am. I am not away from myself. Natu atma ekantena avishaya asmat pratyaya vishayatvat. Many of you have sat down for the Brahma Sutra lectures with me. Asmat pratyaya vishayatvat. It is the subject matter of the thought I, of the vritti I. What I put around that I is called ahankara. But I am is the Atma. Directly known to you. Just sakshad aprokshat. Remember the first perception? Just sakshad aprokshat. 6 महीना हो गया, beginning में था. Therefore, this jnanam also becomes pratyaksham.
So Maharaj, this clarification here.
Beg your pardon?
Clarification here.
Yeah.
So when I say I am Atman, this is Pratyaksha Jnanapam. I am Brahman. This is Pratyaksha Jnanapam. But when I say I am this entire creation.
Yeah. That's why he puts this as nirvikalpa jnanam. He makes a separate category here. saying nirvikalpa jnanam because it is not based on any relationship of my eyes and the object, because it is not available for the eyes. It is not available as an object for your mind also.
Right.
It is the content of the mind. No? But I am is known.
Yeah.
Because I am is known, we will say direct immediate knowledge. And direct immediate knowledge, which is otherwise talked about as aparoksha jnanam, he presents it as pratyaksha. That is why then the meaning of the verse Atmavare Drashtavya becomes very clear. Atmavare Drashtavya, Eish, Mokshartam Kim Karanam. What should I do for gaining moksha? Atmavare Drashtavya. See the self. But the self is not available for perception. Therefore, what should I do? Shrotavyaha, Mantavya, Nididhyasitavyaha. Shrutavyaha, listen to that pramana. Because pramana is shabda, not pratyaksha. Can you see the thing? Pramana is shabda.
Correct.
So listen. Doubt hai, mantavyaha. Not a fact of my life. Nididhyasitavyaha. So all comes in proper sequence. Shravanam alone is enough. If you are like Shvetaketu, Maitreyi, Gargi, etc., Shravanam alone is enough. हो गया काम.
So Maharaj, okay, one more question here then what you say. So, Shabda is a pramana.
Exactly. Shabda is a pramana.
But why is Pratyaksha not a pramana?
Pratyaksha is not a pramanam for the Atma, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, only for the Atma is not a pramanam.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pramanam for other things.
Yeah.
That's why he redefined Pratyaksha. He redefined it from just seeing Indriya Sannikarsham. He redefined it so that this can also be included into that.
Understood.
It's a way of presenting something.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah. So don't go outside and tell other students of Vedanta, Atma is Pratyaksham. Okay? Atma Jnana. Those who are studying the Gita and the Upanishads, mat bolo. Don't confuse them. Na buddhi bedam janayet. Don't confuse. Because you want to show off your learning. No. Let them have their thing. When they come to Vedanta Paribhasa, they'll understand it. Yeah. Imagine if I had said all this right in the beginning when you all came to the class, what will happen? यार कभी बोलता है प्रत्यक्ष है, कभी बोलता है शब्द है, ये क्या है पता नहीं लगता. Even now people have that problem. Okay. Yeah. Therefore he categorizes it as nirvikalpa jnanam. It's very important to understand. Therefore when you say you wish to gain nirvikalpa jnanam, we are not talking about nirvikalpa samadhi. We are talking about a knowledge where there is no relationship. There is no connectedness with anything else. Only this is there. Because there is nothing other than the Atma. Atma is not really divided up into anything. Nirvikalpam jnanam. Very important to see that. Then it works. Therefore, the whole thing is based on this. That Vritya Vichinna Chaitanyam, Pramana Vichinna Chaitanyam should be at the same time and place. If that happens, knowledge happens. Yeah, that's what it is based on. And by saying, putting it in this way, statements like Atmavare, Drashtavya, etc. becomes very clear. Or statements like you must see the self, you must see it very clearly, see the truth of my words. When these type of statements you have to understand now in context. Only then it makes sense. And he is deliberately doing it because most of the Shabda Jnanam you get, a good chunk of it would be Paroksha Jnanam, no? Indirect knowledge. A good chunk of it is indirect knowledge. Therefore, you will get a doubt whether, when you say Shabdam, indirect. In fact, all modern Vedanta is based on this. No? Words can give you only indirect knowledge. Then in the white heat of meditation, you have to make it direct. And the whole lifetime goes in that. Yeah. I know people who lived with that belief, who argued with me on that, and they died with that belief. कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा. Yeah. All that happened was a little bit of looking down upon yourself, because 20 years I've been meditating, nothing is happening. What do you expect to happen? Because Atma Jnanam is not an event for it to happen. An event can happen. Something other than you can be experienced. There is a lot of experiential learning, and it's all valid for those fields. It is valid. If I am teaching you energy work, I taught you. I'll say, hey, come do. And I understood. You understood what? It's just a theory for you. Now you have to practice. There it is fine. Theory, practice different. There it is fine. You understood what? That this type of breathing will raise the energy like this. ठीक है. Do you feel the energy? And do. Only then you will feel it. So there all this experiential learning, theory, practice, all that is fine. Accepted. When it comes to Vedanta, it is neither a theory nor a practice. It is pure cognition. Atmavare drashtavya. Then if you have to ask them, darshanartham kim kartavya? What should I do to see the myself? Shrotavya. Pramana. Pavana punyena shravanam kuryat. Again and again, listen to the teaching until you are clear. मैं सुना हूँ बहुत, but don't doubt है. Mananam mantavyaha. Maranam. Either by yourself or with the help of a teacher, whatever. Mantavyaha. A lot of mananam. Okay, mantavyaha. But it looks like out of sight, out of mind. When I am thinking about the Atma, I am fine, Ananda. When I don't think, all gadbad happens. It's not a fact of my life. People misunderstand. It is not because I have not experienced it. Big mistake. Big mistake. Ananda you have always experienced. Every night in deep sleep, every moment of joy is all experience of the Atma only. But with ignorance. Therefore, it is not your own. Therefore, this knowledge you have to make it a part of your life. Nididhyasa. Yeah. Pickle it. Put the gulla in the rasa and make rasagulla out of it. Immersive. Go through the immersive experiences. Why immersive? So that it becomes you. The knowledge and you are not separate. However, the knowledge is in some corner of the mind. Something happened, then you are completely thrown out. Completely thrown out. Getting it? The whole thing? Okay. Therefore, because of the directness and the immediacy of this type of knowledge, he puts it as pratyaksham, but nirvikalpa pratyaksham. Okay? Yeah?
Swamiji, but I can use the word pratyaksham, it's interchangeable, no? I can use it as perception also and as direct knowledge also, no?
Yeah. So the word pratyaksham is used for, in the sense of aproksham as well. What normally we will say as aproksham, direct immediate knowledge. So the word pratyaksham is used for both. In both the senses it is used. Okay. ननु वाक्यजन्य ज्ञानस्य पदार्थ संसर्ग अवगाहितः कथम निर्विकल्पम. You said nirvikalpam, na? But padartha jnanam depends upon the now vakya jnanam, knowledge of a sentence, depends upon the relationship between the words or not. This is that Devadatta, this Devadatta is that Devadatta. There is a relationship, no? Does it not depend upon that? Therefore, how can you call it as nirvikalpa jnanam? Uchyate, I will say, what is that? वाक्य जन्य ज्ञान विषयत्वे ही न पदार्थ संकल्पम तंत्रम. As far as the subject matter is concerned, there is no padartha sansargam. That's all for you to understand. Once understood, this is Devadatta. You understood Devadatta. You understood Ramon, the person. Now tell me, in that understanding, that this samsarga and all, does it come into the play? In recognition of the person, all the samsarga is dropped. Until recognition, all that is necessary. This character, because look at it, it has to be presented that way. If Gita we have to have told Patwardhan, meet Ram Mohan. What I said, खुद खुश हो गया आपसे मिलके. Because you would have taken me as some guy with the same name. If she had said, you remember the Ram Mohan that was there in Bombay? Memory now. But this guy is still not recognized. So now look at it, there is a relationship that is shown. But once you are recognizing, oh, this is the same guy. In the recognition, all the relationship, everything is gone. No? Afterwards, for your questioning, it will come up. Why? What made you give up your career, etc., etc., etc. But in that recognition, in that moment of recognition, all those relationships are absent. In fact, if you hold on to the relationship, you won't be able to. You won't be able to recognize. Because holding on to Ramu, that uniform and the person and this character, the sadhu, you will not recognize both are one and the same. Unless you drop the relationship, you will not recognize. Same thing happens in Tattvamasi. Unless you drop Tat and Tvam, it will not happen. The remoteness has to be dropped. The finitude has to be dropped. Only then recognition will take place. Otherwise, how will recognition take place? Nahi hoga. Then you will have to say, Aham Shrutam Brahman, na to Avagatam Brahma. That's another way of saying, Brahm ke naam humne suna tha, Brahma mein hu na tha pata. Because you are holding on to the samsarga, the relationship, etc. That's what happens, na? Tattvamasi, how can I be that? Why? Because you are holding on. Then that and this, all that has to be talked about exactly. What is negatable has to be negated. Then it is clear. And in that it is clear, there is no relation. Everything else has been negated. Nirvikalpakam jnanam. Therefore, nirvikalpa jnanam is not gained in samadhi. Why? Because in samadhi there is no pramana vyapara. There is no use of pramana in a samadhi. But Swamiji, in my meditation, I think of a lot of things. That's not nirvikalpam. It is not samadhi. You are playing games with your mind. Yes, oh. Access bars, I must access. Akashic records. You're trying to connect up with Hiranyagarbha. That's what you're trying to do. Without understanding that you're calling it a name. Akashic records. आकाश में क्या रिकॉर्ड है? कुछ नहीं है. Access bars of consciousness. I'm talking of the barless consciousness, okay. So all those meditations are whatever. I am not outright dismissing them, but whatever it is, whatever it is. Sometimes important to be challenging also. Like a guy like this came to Puja Swamiji. The Swamiji, I do meditation, etc. What type of meditation? He said this. He said, you like playing games with your mind. You like playing games with your mind, okay. That made him take a step back. He said, oh my God, what am I doing? I am in front of a traditional teacher. What am I doing playing mind games? He became a student. Okay. Then, anabhimata samsargasyapi vakyajnya jnana vishatva apattehe kintu tatparya vishayatva. He says, anabhimata samsargasyapi vakyajnya jnana vishatva apattehe. If you are looking at only the relationship of the words, then something disconnected also may come into the picture. Remember Ramon? Oh yeah, that naval officer. Hey, was he there in that submarine? Titan? Unconnected may be come into the picture, he says. Unconnected may come into the picture. But then what is the Vishayatvam? Tatparya Vishayatvam. What is the Tatparya? What is the intention? What is the intention? You remember we did Vedanta Sara? Those who have not listened to Vedanta Sara, the records are there on the YouTube, okay? Or the website, both ways it's there. So remember the Shadlinga Vichara, etc. to determine what is Tatparyam? All that. Tatparya Nishchaya, what is the intention of the speaker? Unless I understand the intention of the speaker, my understanding is incomplete. The speaker has to pay attention to the expression and the listener has to pay attention to the understanding. Am I understanding exactly what the speaker meant? And that is one of the biggest problem in Vedanta teaching or in any other communication. Why? Because words can trigger off what is there in your subconscious. Resistance, defensiveness. Yeah, all this can be triggered off. The psychological projections, all that can be triggered off by words. And that is what one has to be careful of in our understanding. Can't afford to be triggered off. Okay. And to show the intention, he is going into it a little bit. He says, Prakritehe cha. Prakrite meaning Tattvamasi iti. With respect to Tattvamasi, the context of that. Sadeva Saumya idamagram asit. Hey Saumya, dear one, Sadeva asit. What was there in the beginning was Sat alone. Iti upakramya. Starting like that. Tat satyam sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketoho iti upasamhara. It began with saying, all that is there is only one existence, and that existence is the Atma, that is which you are. Direct statement. Uti upasamkramya. Upasamharena vishuddhe brahmani vedantanam tatparyam astitvam avasthitam. Therefore, vishuddhe brahmani, in pure Brahman alone, vedantanam tatparyam avasthitam. That shows, of course, elaborate teaching there. Upakramya, upasamhara, abhyasa, all that comes into the picture. What are the 6 lingas, by the way? People remember? 3 I have mentioned. You have to mention only another 3. Uniqueness, yes, that's the fourth.
Halatvam.
Huh? Abhyasa I mentioned.
Halatvam.
Huh?
Halam.
Phalam.
Halam.
Logic.
Upapatti. Logic has to be there. Yes.
Arthavada.
Arthavada has to be there. Praise or criticism highlighting. Jasminyate sarvam vijnatam bhavati iti. That is Arthavada, praise. Exaggeration to highlight the importance. So by all the Shadlinga Vichara, you come to the conclusion that Shuddha Brahmani eva Vedantanam Tatparyam Avasthitam. Shuddha Brahmani alone, pure Brahman alone is the Tatparya of Vedanta, nothing else. Iti katham tatparya vishayam samsargam avabhodhayet. Now when you understand the Vishayam, the tatparya vishayam, pure Brahman, where is the samsargas in that? Connection with the world, connection with my body, connection with my mind, my past, future. कुछ है इसमें? World, कुछ नहीं है. Shuddham Brahman alone. I don't know that. Pavana Punyana Shravanam Kurya. That's all. Again, listen to the whole thing. Idameva Tattvamasi ityadi Vakyanam Akhandartatvam. It talks about the indivisible whole. Tattvamasi adi Vakyam talks about Akhanda Artham. Indivisible whole. Yat Sansarga Anavagahit Artha Jnana Janikatvam iti taduktam, which is not based on the samsargas, etc. Okay. Samsarga thing, okay. Now look at it. A Vakya will have samsarga. You cannot make a sentence without relationships. Subject, object, predicate, all that thing will be there. All that is relationship, isn't it? All that is relationship. But what is being revealed is free from all relationship. That's why Sureshwara, writing in Naishkarma Siddhi, that will be the next text after this text, okay? Says, that's simpler in some ways. It's not technical like this, okay? It doesn't use technical language like this. Very smooth flowing. He says, Vakyadeva avakyartha pratipattihi. By the sentence alone, you will understand the meaning beyond the sentence. By the sentence alone, Tattvamasi, sentence alone, will you understand what is beyond the sentence, the knowledge beyond the words. The knowledge beyond the words in simple terms, the knowledge beyond the words is understood by the words themselves. So the whole Lakshana Vakya comes into the picture, the whole Sampradaya of tradition, of teaching comes into the picture. That's why without a Sampradaya, you won't get it. Without Sampradaya, being exposed to a Sampradaya with teacher, you won't get it. After exposing to a Sampradaya with teacher, it becomes difficult. So without that, how will you get it? Okay, so that is the thing. That is why Shankara says, Asampradaya with Murkhavat Upakshaniyam. Someone who is not a Sampradaya, with like a fool, give him up. Because he will put you on the wrong track. He may be a wise person. You can prostrate to him. But he is not a Sampradaya with teacher, therefore he can go put you on the wrong track. That's why he says, Sansarga Sangya Sangyoga Hetuta Cha Girimayam Akhanda Arthata Yadva Pratipadikam Arthata Pratipadika Artham Artha Paratvam va akhandartatvam iti chaturtha padaha. Okay. He says that words will produce vanity knowledge without reference to the mutual relationship, etc. Okay. Yeah. Conveying the simple abiding identity that is there, akhandartata, the abiding identity, the identity that already exists between you and Brahman. He is not creating a new identity, he is not revealing something new, it is what is already there, akhandartata. Tat pratipadika arthata. Pratik evam pratikvadi arthatam akhandartha. That means what? What is the meaning of the last quarter is pratipadika arthamatra paratvam. The whole sentence, the whole book, the whole Veda actually will be what? Tat pratipadika matra paratvam, to establish the idea of akhandarthatam, that you are the indivisible whole, you are Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, you are the indivisible whole, nothing else. That's all there is a Tatparya of the whole Shastra. Whole Shastra works on this Tatparya. और कोई बात ही नहीं है. What else is there after that? What else is there? Go and have a nice lunch. और क्या? Good place to stop, because after this you stop. The witness in the self. What is witness with respect to yourself? What is witness with respect to Ishvara, etc. It's a whole new topic. But think on what I've said today. Okay. Next class, come with any questions you have, and we'll handle it and go ahead. Good place to stop. 5 minutes early today, but good place to stop. Okay. Enjoy your lunch. I know I'm going to enjoy mine. I'm going to have a proper feast. Yeah. Take care.